Hello friends, in this video we are going to discover the top 14 most underrated travel destinations in the world. Want to MKE 2023-20 for the year you travel somewhere new? Well, we've got some pretty spectacular suggestions for you. We asked our global network of travel writers and editors to tell us what they think is the world's most overlooked travel destination. The resulting list spans everything from tiny islands and seaside towns to massive lakes and whole countries, and makes for some serious travel inspo. What, exactly, makes a destination underrated? Are we talking about places that don't regularly appear on top travel lists? Places that don't get their fair share of tourism? Places that are legitimate hidden gems, off the tourist trail, or offer great, or quiet, alternatives to popular spots in the same region? The destinations on this list fall into at least one of those categories. From Bali's overlooked neighbor to an untouched area of natural beauty in Zimbabwe, these are the world's most underrated places to travel to this year. Kindly make sure to hit the subscribe button and press the bell icon before we start this video about the 14 most underrated travel destinations in the world. Now let's dig deeper into each of the top 14 most underrated travel destinations in the world. Number 14. Eastern Highlands, Zimbabwe. While most travelers to Zimbabwe will make a beeline for the majestic Victoria Falls or the renowned Wang National Park, the country's eastern border is home to a place of equally astonishing beauty that has remained relatively unknown. Zimbabwe's Eastern Highlands comprise the three hilly ranges of Bumba, Nyanga, and Chimanimani. It's home to Mutaratsi Falls, Zimbabwe's highest waterfall, where you can zipline and attempt the dizzying skywalk, Mount Nyangani, the region's highest peak and holy grail for hikers, and further to the south, the quiet, mist-laden Bumba Mountains. With its steep hills, cool winds and scenic drives, this is Zimbabwe's answer to the moors of Scotland. Number 13. Bray, Ireland. It was the arrival of the railway in 1854 that made Bray, just 12 miles south of Dublin, so popular it became known as the Brighton of Ireland. After years of decline, its mile-long Victorian seafront now buzzes with cafes and restaurants. Stroll from the harbour along the esplanade to the 800-foot-high Bray Head, worth the hour's climb for panoramic views from its rocky summit. Refuel at Butler and Barry on the beach, before a Guinness at Ace local institution, the Harbour Bar. Number 12. São Tomé and Principe. Cast adrift in the Gulf of Guinea off West Africa, the volcanic islands of São Tomé and Principe together make up the second smallest country in Africa, and remain one of the unsung beauties of African travel. A declared UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, here lush rainforests tumble into clear tropical waters, offering a wealth of nature-based adventures. There's a rich cultural landscape to discover too, from the island's history as the world's largest cacao producer to charming overnight stays in traditional plantation rocas. In 2024, look out for the long-awaited reopening of Bom Resort on the northern tip of Principe, a tropical haven that straddles forest and coast. Number 11. Lombok, Indonesia. Considering how crowded the beaches can get in neighboring Bali, it's astonishing that more people don't make the short trip over to the island of Lombok. The South's white sand beaches see more slow-moving buffalo than traffic, while Instagrammers are a rare breed in the East's terraced rice fields. Up north, the majestic Mount Rinjani, Indonesia's second tallest active volcano, offers tough climbs and epic views. For the non-hikers, lush rainforests and thundering waterfalls beckon. And with the island recovering from the double blow of a large earthquake and the pandemic, there's never been a time when your visit will be more appreciated. Number 10. Carpathos, Greece. While tourists flock to watch the sunset in overcrowded Santorini or bronze back-to-back on Mykonos's packed beaches, Greeks in the know take the 4-hour ferry ride from Rhodes to the tiny Dodecanese island of Carpathos. Do the same and you'll find yourself chilling on a string of near-deserted beaches lapped by pristine waters and frequented by Mediterranean monk seals. Lap up local food in the tavernas of Olympos, a mountain village that feels frozen in time, where women still wear colorful traditional outfits and donkeys are the only traffic. Number 9. Turku, Finland. There's a long-standing rivalry between the Finnish cities of Turku and Helsinki, and rightly so. Turku, the country's second city and historic capital, a title it gave up in 1812, is every bit as spectacular as Helsinki. Nicknamed the Paris of Finland thanks to its waterside charms on the Ora River and thriving cafe and canteen culture, Turku is also Finland's oldest city, teeming with medieval attractions like its castle and cathedral, and a hub for green innovation. Our tip: go on a local produce tasting tour on an electric boat and soar down the Ora in style. Number 8. Burlington, Vermont. Burlington's charm as a waterfront university town is established, but with 5 Vermont chefs and eateries recently selected as semi-finalists for the 2023 James Beard Awards, it's becoming one of the country's unmissable food and drink destinations. From pastry chef Amanda Wildermuth's tahini sundae at the Eastern Mediterranean-influenced Honey Road, to spicy Brussels sprouts with a cult following thanks to chef Mojo Hansi Davis's farm-to-table menu at May Day, plus a rotating selection of craft beers from the small experimental brewery Foam Brewers, Burlington's restaurant and bar scene is bustling. Number 7. Plymouth, England. If the Devon city of Plymouth were any smaller, it'd be considered a jewel of a day trip destination. If it were any bigger, it simply couldn't be overlooked. Perhaps because of its middling size, it slipped under the radar, and that's pretty unfair if you ask us. Like art? The Box is a brilliant, recently opened gallery that celebrates local artists. Like architecture? You'll be dazzled by the newly done-up Market Hall, which also has its own immersive art dome. Like swimming? Few pools are more spectacular than the Tinside Lido. Like gin? England's oldest distillery is smack bang in the historic city centre. Book a room at the Bistro Airbnb in the revamped Royal William Yard, and you've lined up pretty much the perfect weekend away. Number 6. Gippsland, Australia. Located in Victoria's eastern corner, around a 4.5-hour drive from Melbourne, Gippsland is a bountiful wonderland encompassing alpine roads, snaking waterways, fertile farmland and deserted stretches of white sand beaches. Devastated by the bushfires of summer 2019-20, which saw towns isolated for weeks, the local wildlife population decimated and more than 400,000 hectares of land burned, and then further impacted by the global pandemic, Gippsland's recovery has been slow and steady. But with natural attractions aplenty, one-of-a-kind villages and a fast-growing food and drink scene that's all about championing local produce, think seafood, cheeses, free-range meats, cool climate wines and organic fruit, there's truly never been a better time to visit this Victorian gem. Number 5. Cabo Rojo, Puerto Rico. A colorful beach town on the southwest coast of Puerto Rico, Cabo Rojo is home to all the white sands and turquoise seas you expect from a Caribbean getaway. It's 3 hours by car from San Juan with a laid-back vibe that feels light years away from the hustle and bustle of the capital. There are plenty of beaches to choose from, like Comate Beach, with a natural reserve separating the beach from the town, by and off the beaten-path beach you may share with local horses, and Bakwaran, a lively beach village with restaurants and bars. Void of big resorts, you can find small family-owned inns and vacation rentals such as the family-friendly Comate Beach Resort or the luxury Cuatro Casitas. End your day sipping a passion fruit mojito with a view of the sunset the west coast of Puerto Rico is known for. Number 4. Srebrenik, Bosnia and Herzegovina. Arguably Europe's most underrated destination, Bosnia and Herzegovina is packed with charming towns, and Srebrenik, 87 miles north of Sarajevo, is as charming as it gets. The King's Town is home to Bosnia's best-preserved medieval fortress, a fascinating 12th-century structure overlooking the valley, packed with myths and legends. The Peak of Majevica offers incredible views, while the relatively recently discovered Lake Ingram oozes romance. Add delicious food, vibrant cafes and graceful mosques, and you've got a darling waiting to be discovered. Number 3. Cuenca, Ecuador. For a relatively small city, although Ecuador's third largest, Cuenca packs a mighty punch when it comes to culture. It's an architectural beauty whose historic center was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 1999. It's home to many artisans and artists who showcase their work at the city's annual arts festival, the Bienal de Cuenca. It's a hub of traditional crafts. It's here that the renowned Panama hat, actually called a Montecristi, is made, and travelers can visit workshops to see the intricate hat-making process in full swing. Often overlooked in favor of Ecuador's more accessible cities like Quito or the bucket-list tickable Galapagos, Cuenca is a picturesque showstopper worth traveling up the Andes Mountains for. Number 2. Lake Bacola, Mexico. The tourist towns of Tulum and Cancun tend to dominate dialogue about Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, while Lake Bacala, also known as the Lagoon of Seven Colors thanks to its forget-me-not, peacock and cyan waters, is often overlooked. It makes for a welcome change of pace, where you can take in all the beauty this corner of Mexico has to offer away from the influencers and spring breakers. Kayak to white sand beaches, relax on the docks while spotting migratory birds, swim in cenotes and bed down in a spate of new eco-hotels, including dreamy Boca de Agua, located in its own nature reserve. Number 1. Mongolia. Known for its traditional jers, yurts, friendly nomadic people, and herds of wild horses stomping across untouched steppes, Mongolia has to be experienced to be believed. With a new international airport and affordable local-led tours, this seemingly far-flung country is more accessible than you'd expect. For a perfect introduction to the country, spend a couple of days in the capital, Ulaanbaatar. It's surprisingly clustered and easy to explore, then take in the picture-perfect ranges and fresh mountain air of Gorky Terelj National Park. Stay the night under the stars in your own ger and don't be surprised if nomadic herders stop by to welcome you. So, which is your favorite places among the top 14 most underrated travel destinations in the world? Well, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the content of this video, click the subscribe button so you can receive more content like this. Post your favorite places among the top 14 most underrated travel destinations in the world in the comments below. I'd love to read them and I'm sure others would too.